everyone, welcome to day 26 of the 100 Days of UI Design Challenge. We are finally live, and today's UI design is extremely special because we are going to be tackling three different advanced UI design concepts, three concepts that we've actually seen quite recently in the 6 p.m. review of all of the different UI designs which we do. 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time is when we sort of come live and take a look at all of the different crazy cool award sites that actually win awards, sites that are just completely out of this world. So today we are going to be talking about three different effects that I've seen on there, and three different effects that are almost common in every single website that exists. Like every second website you'll always see these effects, and it's so fun to just try to break these effects down from the point of view of Figma and from the point of view of a UI designer. Because one of the questions that I get a lot of times is this actually even possible to make in Figma? So we're just going to be taking a look at that a little bit, and let's hope this is quite an informative stream, because this is going to be one of the best ones ever. So let's just really quickly get my screen up right here, and also let's just make me vanish from this entire setup. Alright, so today's UI design is actually pretty cute, pretty special, pretty unique to everything that we've ever done. This is how the site starts, and it just sort of dabbles between the black and white color schemes. Just extremely elegant, extremely fun. Hold on to your hats for the effect that I'm now going to present to you. This is one of the most amazing effects of UI design ever. Alright, ready? Let's just start. Check this out. Did you see that? Did you just see that? It just scales and just blows my mind away completely. Switches themes, switches colors, scales. The most amazing effect ever. And hold on, we are not done yet. This also follows my cursor. So this beautiful unicorn that we have right here also follows my cursor. Super duper fun, super duper amazing, extremely unique, and we're going to be taking a look at three different effects today. Let's just start with the first one. The very first effect that we're going to be taking a look at is having some element just scale up. The second thing that we're going to be taking a look at is just how to get black and white colors with no color scheme per se, right? And how to just get these huge fonts to a transparent like feel. And also the third effect that I'm really excited about today is how to get this beautiful unicorn to follow your cursor. The images that we're going to be using today are all findable in the Discord group. If you don't have the link to our Discord group yet, what are you doing? Let me just get myself back to the screen. If you do not have the links to our Discord group yet, you should just join the Discord group really quickly. I'm going to just right now go ahead and really quickly place the link of our Discord group in the chat, and then hopefully that's enough for everyone to just join up really quickly, because it's where we talk about all of this stuff, where we take inspiration from. Super cool stuff happens there. So I'm just going to really quickly paste the link of the Discord group before we get started. And we're also going to be tackling one of the coolest effects we've ever done on this channel today. Extremely cool UI, super duper excited for today's UI. Let's just really quickly try to get our Discord group in our chat, because this is where, and the reason this is so important is this is where you'll find all of the super cool stuff that goes on this channel, and also all of the images that we use on this channel. So all of the images, all of the assets, everything that we use on this channel absolutely can be found on the Discord group. I'm just pasting the link. It's taking a little while. Let's just really quickly get the link of the Discord group, and we can get started. Alright, and we're back. So today we are going to be talking about this super duper cool effect in UI design, making this effect in Figma, which is super duper awesome, you guys. And let's just, without any further delay, let's just jump right back in, get started with what we're going to be building today. So right off the bat, the first thing you need to do to build this super cool, super duper amazing effect that just follows your cursor in stream, it just sometimes acts up a little bit, but follows your cursor still, switches themes, extremely unique opaque fonts that just sort of become transparent when you need them to be. Super duper cool effects that we're going to be taking a look at today. Let's just jump right in. To get started, of course, the very first thing you need to do is go to your browser, whatever browser you're using, and click on Figma downloads or downloads Figma, whatever it is you want, and you'll basically reach figma.com/downloads. Download your macOS app or Windows app, whichever it is that you'd want to download first. And once you complete the installation, you can find the image that we're going to be using today, the beautiful unicorn image, in the Discord group. Do not miss it. Let's just get started. So the very first thing that we're going to do is, of course, we're going to play around with our unicorn, and then also we're just going to really quickly create a new project. So when you just get started with Figma, your screen is going to look like this, and so you're just going to click on create new design file, and we can just get started with our new design file in Figma. Again, if you guys have any questions related to UI design, just make sure to mention them in the chat. Super duper fun. Coming live here every single day, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Alright, so the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to start by creating a frame. And the way this frame works is, since this is a desktop based UI, it is wider than it is tall. So you have to basically put a 16:9 frame ratio for most desktops. So the ratio that we're going to be using today is actually basically 1920 by 1080 pixels. Super duper fun, super duper unique. Not unique at all, actually. Let's just start by creating our frame. So this is what the frame looks like. Very basic. Let's just get started. All right, now with the frame out of the way, we're going to start with our image. Now this image can be found in our Discord group, so I'm just going to get my image from my Discord group really quickly. Again, you can find all of these images. Literally, Sammy says good morning Sammy. Let's just really quickly get our image from the Discord group, which, by the way, if you're not on the Discord group, you are high key missing out. So just join the Discord group, first link in the description and also in the live chat. And I'm just going to get my image from the Discord group really quickly, and let's just really quickly just get started. Alright, so I'm just sending myself the image really quickly because Discord desktop doesn't work for some reason. Give me a moment and we will be on our way really shortly. And let's just get this image from the Discord group. Again, you can find all of your images in the Discord group. Super great place for UI design overall. Let me just get this imagery really quickly downloaded and zoom back in again on my screen. So alright, so now that we have our image, let's just go and click on really quickly, click on Ctrl+Shift+K, and that's going to open us our image file explorer box, whatever you want to call it. And let's just really quickly get our image out right away. So this is the image that we're going to be working with today. You can use any image you want or get this exact one from our Discord group, first link in the live chat. Super duper cool stuff. Let's just copy this image because I've just gotten this on my screen once and I'm just going to now reuse it a bunch of times. I find this so much easier than just getting it from the file explorer every single time. So we're just going to make this smaller, keeping in theme with our UI design for today, and also align this completely in the center. Again, the thing that we're working with is a super duper cool effect. Just scales up when you click on it, and also it follows your cursor around. Super duper excited for this cool stuff. So let's just get started with our title, because the one thing that's common in all of these cases is the titles. This font is actually a really simple, really fun font. It's called Playfair Display. If you haven't heard of it, if you have heard of it, cool. It's one of the best serif fonts ever, in my opinion. Like, never ever changing that opinion. I don't think I am, unless something even cooler comes along, which is also very free. So let's just get this stuff bigger, and now that we have fixed this, made it a little bit bigger, let's just keep on increasing the size until we're truly happy with the way this looks. Let's just increase the size a little bit. 365 should work well, and I'm just throwing numbers randomly at this point. You can just make it as thin as you like, and that should make things really easy for you. You can just either do a really simple italics font, or you can just stick with the regular Playfair display. Again, super duper cool font, perfect for this UI design, just works so well that you can't really reject it. All right, now we're just going to increase the font size by a little bit. Say hi in the chat, you guys. Super duper fun, coming here live every single day, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time, talking about really cool UI design, building stuff live, just the best experience ever. All right, so now that we have our text, we're just going to adjust this image to be on top of the text, because that's also important. Right now the image is on top of the text, and also to just align the text in such a way that the image is in the center. So of course we took care of making sure the image was aligned perfectly in the center, but now we also have to make sure our text is also aligned so that at least some part of it is visible. And now that it is visible, let's just jump right back into the next screen. So the way this animation works is you click on it and it sort of just enlarges into this really weird opaque space where every single time my cursor moves, it also just, this unicorn basically sees the cursor or just moves around with the cursor. This is one of the effects that we looked at in our awards site replays as well, because there we talked about cans which were following our cursor basically. So Abhinand says hi, hello, welcome back. Today we're building a super cool award style effects, just one of the most advanced effects you can ever make ever. So again, you basically, to get started in the very beginning, you need two different screens. So you need this first screen, and when you click on it, you need this final screen. The rest of the animation is taken care of automatically by Smart Animate, but right now we need to build out this second screen, which is going to have a black background, white text, and also this outline of text, so that sometimes it's visible, sometimes it's not, and I'm going to get into that really quickly. And also this image. So let's just build out the second image really quickly. You can find this image inside of our Discord group. If you haven't joined the Discord group yet, hello, 100 days of UI design assets, you guys. Completely the best UI design community that exists ever. All right, let's just change the color to white and say hi in the chat, everybody. So many of us joining, super duper cool. Let's just make this image bigger, and since we have the image in its actual ratio of 1024 by 1024 pixels, I don't think scaling it up will hurt your pixel resolution at all, which is such a relief, if I'm being completely honest, like such a relief. Again, now this is the time where we start to talk about the logic of this whole UI design a little bit, because logic is very central to the UI design that we're building today, and we are getting the logic right. So basically you need to have text that is fit perfectly, so text that is basically white. So if you will see the white U right now, it's just text that's fit perfectly there, and also you have this weird outline which shows you through your image what is behind the image sort of, and also you need an image in the middle. So we basically need two things. The first thing we need is a solid font, which we do have. The second thing we need is another font which is actually quite in front of the screen, and B, it's also quite see-through. The way you make a font see-through is you remove the fill first of all, and then add a stroke, and you have to do this really quickly, otherwise it just goes away. And your stroke has to be in the same exact color as this white right here, so it blends right in. All right, so it blends right in. While I'm talking about this, we have a couple of really cool people in the chat. Himanshu says hi. Hello Himanshu, welcome back. Also Yavi says hi. How could I ever forget you? Hello, welcome back. Hi, welcome back. All right, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, super duper fun, we're building out this super duper cool effect. Let me just refresh this because I'm such a fan of this. You just click on it and it just scales in your face. One of the most coolest award-winning effects ever, and also this unicorn is basically following your cursor, which also I'm a fan of. Such a huge fan. Japtavya says hey, hello, welcome, and Hriday also says hi, you all, welcome to the 100 days of UI design challenge. This is day 26. Such a great community of UI designers that we have here today. All right, so the transparent font that we were talking about needs to have zero fill, so you're just going to click on minus and remove any fill that you have at all. And also you're going to add a stroke, which is let's just do a stroke of 2. This actually looks good, because one of the major concerns with this stroke is it has to be thick enough so that you actually are able to see it, because even the unicorn is quite light. So it's just, if you put it to 1, or if you put it to something lesser than that, 0.1, 0.5, that's just going to make your life even more difficult. And of course, if you guys have any questions at all, you can either send them in the chat, or if they're not related to UI design, just related to web design in general, you can also send me privately on Discord, which is the first thing in the description. So as far as the questions are concerned, there's a thumbs up on that. All right, so 2 looks like a really nice font weight to stick to. And now we need to start with the animation part. And I know today we're just jumping super duper quickly into the animation part of this whole stream, which is quite a surprise, but this is just super quick part. So as soon as you click on the prototype button, you just have to make sure you have a flow starting point, because, and this is especially true for the new Figma UI design, when you start to animate stuff, Figma gives you a couple of options, which I'm just going to get through really quickly. Oops. Figma gives you, hold on a minute, this is cool stuff. Figma gives you the option to basically, I'm just going to show you when we present this one. So Figma gives you, let's keep a pin on the flow starting point part, because that's also going to be covered really soon. Let's just click on interactions, which is what we're currently interested in. Trigger has to be on click, because this has to happen on click, or you could do on drag as well. On drag also gives you this perfect UI, but I'm not going to do on drag right now, because in my experience, if you use Figma on your browser, figma.com, drag interactions, I don't know if it's the WebGL, I don't know what it is exactly, but drag interactions just mess you up entirely. So we're just going to click on navigate to and select our destination, which is of course frame 2. Animation style has to be smart animate, you cannot mess this up. And also make sure your curve is gentle, because if it is not, it's just going to be super duper abrupt, not a perfect UI design at all. Super duper abrupt, you guys. So you can always also change this timing. I'm just going to change it to like 1200 milliseconds, which is 1 minute 1.2 second. All right, so let's just start animating. I'm going to get rid of this now, because honestly it's just confusing us. Let's just click on triangle play, and that's going to animate our whole UI for us. Let's just get started with that. And now when you click, lo and behold, this works perfectly. Just check it out. Like, I am such a fan of how quickly this started working. Like, less than 15 minutes of us starting this live stream, and just check it out. Just is the coolest UI effect ever. Like, this is one of the things you see on all of those awards sites, just mind-blowing effect in the whole world. And this is just working so quickly. I'm just going to get myself out of this frame so we can just fan over how nice of a UI this is. Just check it out. You just click on it, and already we're like 70% done, because this is just so perfect. And you can also see the white and also the transparent stuff, just the simplest effect ever. And again, the main consideration here is your stroke text. I'm just going to show you that this is the stroke text. So if you just zoom in and if you remove this, you will see that the only thing that goes missing is the stroke of LUNARAEL here. So the stroke text has to sort of stay, and this can go, this is our solid fill text. So this is the one in the bottom has to be the solid fill text, the one at the top has to be the stroke text, and the one in the middle, the third middle layer, has to be the image that we're using. So let me just get myself back onto the screen, and again, this is the order you have to follow, and then from that point on, this animation just gets so easy, so quick. Let's just jump right back into the next effect that we're going to be building today, which is actually to get this unicorn to follow our cursor. And I'm just sort of surprised at how quickly we're just getting through things today. Just one of those days where you just sort of just click on it, and we've already achieved this effect. Now when you sort of go around with the cursor, it just sort of follows you around, which is so fun, so fun, you guys. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get this unicorn to actually follow our cursor, which is going to be a little bit tricky, not impossible, a little bit tricky, but again, you have to look at this a little bit more carefully. So let's just jump right back to how to get that to happen. So we're just going to duplicate this frame now, and I think it would be a good idea to just get this image and this first frame out of our view for now, because this is where stuff gets extremely just focused. This is where stuff gets extremely focused. So let's just get this off on another side. Let's just place these two together, and let's just get started with the next part. So again, the primary concern here that I'm considering right now is every single time your cursor goes to a place this image in itself skews a little bit, it changes its shape. So every single time my cursor's position changes, and this is the important part, every single time my cursor's position changes, the image has to change somehow. Now, even if you put aside the fact that changing the image somehow is going to be a challenge in itself, you have to be following the cursor at all times, which is not an inbuilt feature in Figma, which is why this is going to be a little bit difficult. So what we do is and I'm just going to use advanced UI designer terms now, we start to map the position of the cursor. So we start to monitor the whole screen. What we do is we just take our whole screen, start monitoring it, and wherever the position is where your cursor is, there are a couple of, I'm just trying to put this in the simplest terms possible. There are a couple of sensors in the whole screen. So now we're going to be building out sensors in UI design. Yes, I know we didn't think we were going to do this. I didn't think either. So we have a couple of sensors on your whole page, and I'm going to get into how really quickly. We're building out a couple of sensors on the page which detect where your user is hovering. And once your sensors start to work, then you can have a signal about which position the user was hovering at. So let's get into the sensors really quickly. Super duper important stuff. Let's just get back to building sensors. All right, now you might ask, how do you build these sensors? So we'll just stick with frame 2. We won't go into the duplicated frame. I just kept a duplicated. You know what, we don't need the duplicated frame, let's just get rid of it. All right, so we're sort of trying to build sensors now. How do we do that? We just go right here, go to rectangles. In fact, instead of rectangles, let's just, all right, I'm just taking the new suggestions from the comments. All right, so we're just going to frames. Let's go to the frame, and we're going to start by creating a couple of frames. So basically you need sensors on your screen to detect where the cursor is at, and once you get that location, then you can automatically process the image to sort of change its directions and stuff. And I know I'm just sounding really weird and advanced right now, but it's extremely simple, you guys. So let's just start by building a sensor, or what I'm just trying to simplify as the main detecting unit. We'll start with the frame. Click on F on your screen, drag to create a square, and this can be as small as you like. The smaller your frame is, the more refined results you're going to get, and that's going to become really clear in a moment as well. So let's just give this a fill right now, because we want to see what we're doing right now. So we're just going to change the color to red in the expectation that we're extremely visible with what we're doing right now. So this is the very first section on our screen, and now every single time the user hovers over this section, something has to happen so that this main image acknowledges the fact that the user's cursor is in this section. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to basically duplicate this frame, and every single time this is hovered over, so let's just leave this red rectangle here for now. Every single time the user hovers over this section, we're going to create a result in this image which basically acknowledges the fact that you hovered over this section. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to go to our image fill. Instead of fill, we're going to go to crop, and that just gives you so many more actions than you ever thought were possible, which is going to zoom in really quickly. And now you'll realize, if you just place your cursor in the center of the whole frame and you just start to move it around, you can do a lot of really cool stuff with it. So just amazing stuff that you can do with it. And now that we have this out of the way, let's just sort of move this under by a couple of pixels so that we can work with it. And also, if you go to its absolute corners, you will see that you can rotate it by a whole lot, which is quite central to what we were doing today. You can rotate it. And so we're just going to rotate it by a couple of pixels. And so the main goal is, we want this unicorn to look up in the left section when your cursor is in the top left section. This is the top left section. So I'm just trying to simplify whatever I'm talking about as much as possible. So this is, I think, as close as we're going to get. And now when you click on the shift key and click on one of the main edges of the actual unicorn fill, you can actually make this image smaller. So you can just play around with that as well. And so we're just going to do this now. Now if you wanted to add a little more drama into what you were doing, and this is just plain drama, don't press anything, don't press control, don't press shift, just go right here and make it thin, and just drag it without worrying about the aspect ratios and the proportions and stuff. And I think this adds a lot of drama to your actual frame. So we just, no windows, I don't want your sticky keys, don't get your sticky keys in my face. All right. So we just got in this right here. And now This is the final animation state that we want our image to reach when the user hovers over this section. So we're just going to try to animate that. I'm just breaking stuff down really simply. Let's just go over right here, and now we're going to click on hover. So we're just hovering stuff now. On hover, you're basically going to navigate to, and just navigate to. We can try navigate to, we can try to open or swap overlays, both of those work, but this is the tricky portion now. You're basically going to smart animate with gentle curve timing and duration of 1200 milliseconds. Let's just leave it at that. And now when we start to, you know what, I think I made a mistake. This has to happen not with this frame but with this red guy, because you have to basically hover over this section, and this is why we used a frame in the first place. So when you now hover over this red guy, you basically have to make sure the trigger is while hovering, action is to navigate to the next frame, destination is obviously frame 3, and you have to basically smart animate with the gentle curve feature and duration of 1200 milliseconds. Once we've taken care of that, let's just go back to our screen, and now we're just going to go to this red section, and this is happening so beautifully. Are you guys just checking this out? When I hover over this red section, notice the beautiful unicorn just sort of rotating around a little bit. Just this is the best result we could ever hope for. Just when we hover into the frame, the unicorn sort of tilts his head and skews around a whole lot to sort of get into this perfect position. Alright, now that this is taken care of, the basic goal is to replicate this a bunch of times, and I'm just going to be replicating this 3 times on the left, 3 times on the right, once on the top, once on the bottom. So it's going to be top left, center left, bottom left, and also top bottom, top right, center right, bottom right, and we're just going to do that a bunch of times. So for now, I'm just going to create a bunch of rectangles with colors in it, which might seem like a bummer, but it actually simplifies a lot of stuff really easily for us. So let's just go back to our prototype section, design section actually, and we're going to copy and paste this frame. And the reason we're just trying to copy and paste this exact frame is because our prototype effects are going to be preserved from right there, so we just have to stick with those. We'll just change the color of this box also. You know what, let's just remove this fill now, because we don't need a fill anymore. The effect actually works, so no need for that anymore. And we're just going to go right here, and now I'm just going to get rid of it for a little while and just talk about getting to this frame really quickly. So we're just going to really quickly create a couple of frames that basically align perfectly, just to map out our locations. It looks better if you use a radius on the image. Sammy, this is a skew kind of tutorial in which your image basically skews according to where your position of the cursor is. So I don't think a border radius is even relevant, and it's just going to confuse a lot of people right now. So let's just keep things simple now. If you want, you can just copy this whole UI tutorial. The image is in our Discord group, and you can just make your own version. In fact, if you share it after you've made it on the Discord group, we'll feature it on the next video. So that's that. And we're just going to make this smaller so that it fits at least with the image. Just make it as small as you need to. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect. You can also eye it if you want. Just have some random, just eye it a little bit. And this is the part we're just duplicating a bunch of times the same exact frame, and this is basically going to make sure we are using it over and over again correctly. So we're just going to place it right here, and I know this looks quite weird right now, but this is just going to help us visualize what we're building out so well that I just can't get rid of these ugly squares. It just makes a lot of sense this way. Oops, let's just change this color and also change this color too. So this is sort of the current state of what we're building out. We have sensors in all of these places. I know looks quite weird. Let's just get rid of this frame because you want sensors in all of your images, and we just had that, so we would have to basically copy and paste all of these frames over to the other side. So we're just going to take this frame, copy and paste it a bunch of times, because you know what, let's not hurry into this. We can just go to the prototype, and I know this is a very weird and long tutorial, but the result at the end is so worth it. Like, can we just acknowledge the fact that this horses moving around according to wherever our cursor is. So I'm just going to walk you through the process, even if it looks quite weird right now. So we're just going to have to, I think let's just, this is the perfect point to, like, we need to have 8 more of these. So we're just duplicating this 8 times. Control C, Control V, nothing complicated at all. 5 down, 3 more to go. Alright, and now that we've duplicated every single frame, this is the part where the fun starts. So we're just going to go to this frame, add an interaction, and trigger has to be while hovering. Action has to be navigate to the other frame, smart animate gently, 1200 milliseconds, nothing special at all. And again, we're just going to have to do this for all of the other squares which are on this corner as well. So this just has to repeat on a bunch of times. Figma basically gives you these same exact effects preserved from one prototype section to the next, but you have to make sure your trigger has to change every single time, because quite honestly, and I'm angry at Figma for this, they don't change your your prototype effects of your trigger prototype effects. So that's just something you need to take care of. I think we prototyped the wrong section, so I'm just taking all of the top right white sections and just getting them all to this. This is so clumsy and so weird, but it just gives you the best effect ever in the whole world. Let's just get this to frame 3. All of these have to now reach frame 3. Let's just get them all to frame 3, and that is going to be it. I think we also need to make sure everything is using on hover interaction, so that also is quite important. Change all of your interactions to on hover if they need to while hovering. And the reason we didn't do this in the beginning is because if we did it in the very beginning, it would have no place to animate to. So you have to basically do this manually, which is quite tiring if I'm being honest, but the end result is so worth it, and we're basically now pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible with Figma, so I'm not complaining. Again, if you guys have any questions related to UI design, any suggestions on anything related to UI design, just leave them in the comments really quickly, and we can talk about that. Alright, so the first section is basically done for all of these, and now that it is done, I think we can actually get rid of, and I'm not even, let's you know what, let's just go to this image, let's just get rid of the fill on all of these. Should we get rid of the fill? Yes, we will get rid of the fill. Let's just get rid of the fill on all of these, because now there's no need to basically acknowledge that something is here either, because we have all of our interactions in place. The only thing that needs to be changed is this image's state. So we just did that once and we just got rid of it because all of these squares needed to be made at once. We're just getting rid of the fill really quickly. And I know this is one of the most boring tutorials ever, but the level of effects that we're achieving is also out of this world. Again, like this video if you like this video. Like this video so that it reaches more people, so that we can have a lot of fun on stream together. And also these tips reach as many people as possible. Let's just bring this to the absolute front, and then we'll just bring this in middle of the both of these guys. So we can just create a bunch of visualizations of how this would look if it was placed in the top left position. So we're just going to go right here, change the fill to crop, and move this guy around. Press the shift key to make it smaller, and you can just press the shift key if you like. Rotate it from this corner. I'm not pressing anything right now, we're just rotating this. When you get it on the corner, it just works. And also we're just going to, without pressing anything, I'm just going to sort of skew it around so it just gets to this really thin, really nice position. If you don't like the fact that your image is getting cut off, just make sure to make your boundaries even wider, and that's going to make sure your image doesn't get cut off anymore. This works perfectly, just works so well. And you can just shift this image above as well. Looks perfect. All right, and now that we've taken care of that, every single time anyone hovers over this section, it's just going to animate beautifully, just animates beautifully. And now that we've taken care of the animation, we're just going to send this behind send this between both of these guys. All right, again, we're just going to be repeating these things a bunch of times. Pretty boring stuff. If you guys want to know the story of my first ever website that I built commercially, I can just dive into that now, because this is the same exact steps that we're repeating over and over again. Just type yes in the chat and I'll just get completely on another track with story time. Alright, now we're just going to go to prototype, and of course try to break this down into, now I'm just thinking about how we just need to repeat it a bunch of times, which is quite boring, to be honest. This is, and this is a very good point to start renaming our sections frames, because we're going to be losing track of things a bunch. So don't interact this box to right here, because this is already the top left interaction. So we're just going to rename this to top left. Done. Alright, so while we're doing this, let me just really quickly talk about my very first extremely weird experience of ever building a website. This wasn't even for a client. This was while I was learning web design myself, such a long time ago. Like, I can't even believe it has been that long. And I was basically building out this UI design I started building out UI designs. A couple of friends found out we were doing a hackathon, and they were on a different team. They also wanted to organize a hackathon, which was a stupid idea, but they were kids, we were kids. It's fine, it's in the past. And then just we all happened to be in the same category for some reason, and they asked me to build a website for them, which I did completely for free, primarily because I did not have any confidence in my skills as a web developer, web designer whatsoever, which is quite a sad thing to say out front. But of course I did not have any idea. And if you guys want to check out the website I ended up making, I did make a website. It was actually it's actually in our day 9 video, it's called Hack It. It's still there. The domain name isn't, but the site is still there. You can check it out. It was actually quite weird. These same group of people, or at least a couple of people from this exact same group, basically also wanted to do something related to their own coding team. They asked me to build a logo for them. I used to do that back in the day, and so I just built this logo. Extremely weird. And here's the fun part. I did not know anything about contracts, charging, upfront advances, and anything of the sort. I sent them over the logo like an absolute fool that I was, and I think they took the logo, and I think they didn't, and they didn't pay me either, which was quite the bummer. So that's just a sad story from the past, just comes up. And again, you have to make sure every single one of these frames says on hover. If it doesn't, you're in trouble. This I get that this is a very, very boring video per se, but the result that it brings up is so awesome that I can't just get rid of this, because we had been doing a lot of these live streams where we were seeing this really beautiful can sort of following our cursor, and I wanted to build that on stream, but here we are. Let's just change this to crop, and also move this image around again, bring this right here, shift this above, and this is going to squeeze our image a little bit, which is actually the goal. Shift this image to the top, which is also a goal, very, very important. And also sort of make sure a lot of space is available here, because when it is, that's sort of you truly acknowledging that the cursor is present now. So you just have to move away from the cursor. That's the primary goal. And now we're just going to get rid of every single frame. We have to make sure that these are all prototype to hover. I hope this is prototype to hover as well. Again, this is the best ever UI design effect we've ever done on this channel, and it does take a lot of time, I'm being honest, but it just gives you the best result. And if you put this on your portfolio, the level of impact that you're going to make on any hiring manager at all, any brand at all, any of your dream jobs as a beginner in UI design, absolutely divine, can't even start. So you can already see this coming together. When you hover over this section, the horse starts to look towards our cursor, and when you hover over the bottom section, the horse is already looking down. Alright, the reason this is not working the way we intended it to is because we need to place it between our two layers of text. So we're just going to drag it, place it between our two layers of text. This works perfectly. Alright, and now we're just going to have to do this over a bunch of times. So let's just get this bottom guy to the bottom as well. If you guys have any questions related to UI design, just really quickly type them below. If you weren't at yesterday's UI design review stream, it was about us reviewing a couple of awards websites and just looking at really cool effects, one of the sites that managed to make 2 awards of the month, or 2 websites of the month, this is something really interesting that's just coming up in my head right now, was actually called Akaru, and you can just check that site out also. I don't want to badmouth anyone's site as a fellow UI designer, web developer, but it was just I still don't know how Akaru managed to get to a place where it was positioned as the best site of the month for any month. Even if there was a month that had no other sites, I have no idea how it managed to even reach like sites of the month, and I was just really disappointed about that. So I just asked very randomly on stream, how am I going to sleep at night knowing such a terrible site exists? It has a lot of execution errors, if I'm being honest, a lot of stuff that's just wrong from an execution point of view. I asked on stream, how am I going to sleep at night knowing that this just exists, and someone gave an extremely funny answer to that. Someone said alcohol. Not just alcohol, they actually suggested a particular brand name, which is extremely funny to think about, especially considering I don't do any of these substances. But our UI design community is here to give you not only useful answers, but also answers that help you sleep at night. So that was something fun that happened. All right, now we're getting rid of all of these green sections. Every single time one of these sections clears up so much, there is just so much. Why is there 2 interactions? Where the hell did we get 2 interactions? And I'm just so mad now. I have to check now. Let's just keep on getting rid of these fills because they have to become transparent at the end of the day. So let's just get rid of these fills anyways. And also make sure the prototype doesn't say drag and hover, because if it says drag and hover, I am going to be extremely mad. This has to be while hovering. This is a hover animation effect. This is not a drag animation effect. And one of the reasons I'm super proud of this is because I just sort of thought about this problem and figured it out myself. Again, one of those weird things that you stay happy about for a really long time. I'm just getting rid of the fills now because honestly we just need to. If you guys have any questions related to UI design, any suggestions for the next couple of streams, we are always looking for your input. Let's just get to change this image, crop this image here as well. We are just zooming in and also shifting this down by a couple of pixels. Shift this down, and now you can actually start to see the magic that happens when your image is sort of moving around and your text is visible and invisible at the same time. Cool stuff, super cool stuff. Again, you can shift this with your arrow keys or your cursor. I think using the cursor is actually much easier, much better, because there's just so much stuff that we're doing, and this is an exact opposite of our bottom screen, because we're just sort of placing our cursor here now and it's sort of running away from the cursor. We're skewing our image yet again, and with that our top image is also top frame is also ready. So we're just getting this frame down from up top here as well. These are the frames that need some processing anymore. And again, if you guys like what we're doing here today, make sure to like this video, make sure to leave all of your questions, all of your comments in the live chat. We'll be happy to answer anything at all. And again, once again, something that we're going to be building really quickly. Let's just get this guy right here. This is our main frame. Let's do center left now. And I know this is quite boring at times, but this is the best UI design effect that there ever is, hands down. So I had to bring this to the community no matter what. Let's just really quickly get all of these guys aligned while hovering to our center left frame. Trigger has to be on hover, and I think I like the fact that Figma at least preserves these guys, because if it didn't, that would be a pain for the hands as well. So we're just switching to while hovering. Again, if you guys want to talk about anything related to UI design, share an experience, ask a question, we are very open to that. Make sure to leave something in the comments. And also, we've basically updated our conditions to reaching, if we reach 300 subscribers by if we reach 300 subscribers by the 22nd, which is in 2 days, I'll share my secret cheat sheet on the 5 fonts and 3 color palettes that any beginner can use and basically take their sites to an advanced level. No one would know if you're a beginner or if you're just born advanced. So it's just one of those things that's mine completely up until now. Very, very personal. Asad says, sorry for joining late, had some work to do and forgot what the channel name was. Wow, this is called Veera Srivastav, like my name. Anyways, no worries, we come here live every single day, and also these recordings are always available. Make sure to subscribe. You'll get a notification really quickly. All right, today we're building a really cool awards style UI. Super fun stuff. Let's always make sure this is set to while hovering, and now we can get rid of this fill as well. Let's just get rid of this fill now. Again, while we're doing this, make sure all of these interactions say hover. This is a really good test right here and now, and we can get rid of all of these. Super duper satisfying stuff, super duper time taking stuff too, but the end result is so worth it, and this was also highly requested, so can't really complain. And I think we're done with the center left section as well. Before we get done, we can just skew this image one more time, and that's just going to make stuff super duper cool for us. So we can just go right here, make it skew a little bit, shift this to one of our corners, and that's going to be it. I think, yes, that is going to be it. We're just going to skew this right here, and now we're also done with the center left section. And also we got 4 sections, I think 4 sections done, 4 more to go, which is quite a relief. Again, super duper fun stuff, super duper quickly we're just getting this done, which is so awesome. Let's just look at what we've built up until now. So up until now, the stuff that we've built has led us to this UI moment. When we click on this, it just sort of scrolls in. Don't worry about the squares, we're going to fix them. This unicorn has finally started following our cursor, which is such a relief from my side, and we're just going to really quickly get to the bottom left section here as well. Bottom left, triple T's, no. Double T's, yes. If you guys have any questions related to UI design, please leave them in the comments, please leave them in the live chat. Join the Discord group, you'll find all of our images there. Super fun stuff. And also, if you guys have any requests for the upcoming videos, just leave them in the chat really quickly. Let's just put this right here, and just basically you have to go about connecting all of these, not here, all of these to the bottom left section. Don't worry if you haven't basically connected all of these to click. This is all click now, and we're just going to select all of these. Make sure all of these, I just figured out a more efficient way of doing what we were doing super duper slowly. So we're just getting all of these sections selected. Change this click to on hover, and that's just going to fast forward things for you so much. Remove this fill, and also change our bottom left to actually go to the bottom left section. You know what, I did a mistake. And also let's just check our prototype tab. This works, and we're just going to go to our block of unicorn right here, go and click on crop, and also just go right here, rotate this by a little bit, make it a little bit smaller. Just make sure to move this around by a whole lot, make it smaller once again, place this right here, shift this around, and this looks sort of perfect. You can skew this image a little bit if you want to have a little more fun with it, but as far as I'm concerned, this looks absolutely fine. The next thing that we're going to look at, because we only have got the right section now to build, 3 more to go. Super fun stuff happening so quickly compared to what I thought that timeline was going to be. Let's just place this right here, and also change this to top right. Alright, so we're just getting our mainframe in the center as well. Go to all of these white guys, top right sections. Again, even this 3 purple color palette is also so much fun if you guys want to copy it off of this UI design tutorial at all. So we're just going to select all of these. Interactions has to be while hovering, and action has to be to navigate to the top right container. So we just have to choose the destination which says top right here. Animation style has to be smart animate. You have to make the curve function gentle with the animation timing of 1200 milliseconds, which is 1.2 seconds. And we can now go to the design tab, remove our fill. This is going to make our job so much easier. We'll just change this image position, and that's going to be fun as well. So we're just going to go right here and change this to crop. This has to now focus on the top right section. Move this image around, do the same exact thing which we did last time. Rotate it a little bit, just rotate it a little bit. Click on the shift key, make your image smaller, and just use this bar to just make it even more skewed up. So just skew stuff around a whole lot. Rotate it, make sure it stays inside of your frame. If it doesn't, you can change the length of the frame as well. That's also something you can do, very humanly possible. Super duper fun to watch. And also now we can just jump back directly to this section. Let's just place this right here. All right, now that we've taken care of the top right section, we can just drag this down to the bottom, and now we've just got 2 more to go. So super duper close to getting this done. 2 more to go. Let's just go right here and just select all of these. Let's rename this to center right first. I know this takes a lot of time, but the end result is so worth it, and super duper requested video. Let's just get all of these purple boxes filled up, selected. Super quick, super easy. I don't think we got rid of this one, which we will have to, so I'm just going to take care of that later. Make sure your interaction is set to while hovering. Action is set to navigate to. Destination has to be center right, and your animation has to be with the smart animate function. Curve has to be gentle with the timing of 1200 milliseconds. Super duper fun stuff. Again, we're going to get rid of the fill, and I'm just going to make sure this is not acting out too much. In fact, we haven't even fixed it yet, so we're just going to drag it to bottom left. Let's switch the animation function over to smart animate. Gentle timing has to be 1200 milliseconds, and I think that's pretty much it. This is actually bottom left. No, we have to stick to this is actually the top right. In fact, I don't think you have to animate this at all. Let's just remove the fill. Just made a mistake there, completely weird mistake. And now we're just going to switch this over to make this center right. How do we animate it to center right? All right, so let's just go to the image fill, and then we can get stuff figured out from that. Go to crop this image, shift it around, make it smaller, put this right here, and then you don't need to skew things around, especially if it's on the right or the left. You don't have to rotate it around a whole lot, and just leave a little bit of space over on the place where you're using the actual image. Alright, and now that we've taken care of the center right, we've got one last section to go. Let's just remove the fill here as well, and one last section to go, bottom right, and then we're just going to be done. If you guys want me to review the portfolios and the projects that have been coming in, just type R in the chat really quickly, and after we're done with this, we're going to go to the Discord community and review a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about. Just type R in the chat really quickly if you want me to review a lot of the stuff that has been coming in. Again, super cool stuff, just amazing to look at. Let's just select all of these at once, go to the prototype tab, add an interaction of while hovering. Make sure the action is set to navigate to. Destination last ever. Animation has to be smart animate. You can make sure the curve is set to gentle, and repeating myself for the 1000th time, once again 1200 milliseconds. Make sure this works. Remove your fill because we don't need the fill anymore. Remove the fill here as well. And finally, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Go right here, change this to crop, and sort of make it work with the bottom right. So we're just going to move this here, rotate this a little bit, skew this image. Super simple stuff. Don't press anything on your keyboard, that's going to just mess stuff up a lot. And now you can press on the shift key, and that's just going to make things scale perfectly. If your frame is too small, which it usually does happen when you're skewing stuff and rotating stuff around by a whole lot, you can just increase your frame size, which also happens with the blue lines of the crop box. Super cool stuff. And with that, we are done with the complicated part of this UI design. I think we're done with this UI design. So let's just review what we just did. So when we just click on this, boom, super cool effect. Go right here. Works completely awesome stuff, like super duper amazing stuff. This just follows your cursor around, and if you want to go back to your initial frame, which I actually now do want to go back, you can also make one last frame in the center. And I know I'm just repeating myself 1,000 times over, but this is just going to stay in the center. So if you just place your cursor exactly in the center, you can actually just go back to your center. And we're just going to get through this really quickly. Copy, and you know what, we're just going to place this a bunch of times. So just select on all of your frames at once, paste them, and it's just going to be placed in the center. Go to the prototype tab, add an interaction of the trigger to use while hovering. The action has to navigate to our frames 2, which is the central frame, and the animation timing has to be smart animate. The timing has to be curved with 1200 milliseconds, and with that we are done. Published information says, ma'am, आपके वीडियो डेली देखता हूँ. Thank you so much. That means the world to me. Just getting here live every single day, getting to show a lot of really cool UI design stuff to you all. Thank you, published fan. That's extremely nice. Thank you so much. All right. So now when we start to click on this frame, published information. Thank you so much. What do you want me to reply to? I don't know what you're asking. Again, we are done with one of the most amazing UIs we've ever done on this channel. Complete 1920 by 1080 pixel ratio. When you click on this beautiful frame, your color morphs, everything changes. You know what, let me just get rid of my own personal image, my own video now, because honestly this effect is to die for, and you have to see it. Absolutely have to see it. So let's just go to our full screen, and this is fun stuff. Again, click on this image, color changes, make stuff interesting. This text is super duper see-through. You can place your cursor wherever you want, and it's just going to follow you basically from there. Just check it out. This is super cool stuff. This image is now following your cursor, which is the best effect in the whole world. And we can also share this prototype with all of you if you guys want to join right here. Yes, this session happens every single day, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Let's just place this right here. Oops, let's just go to URL shortener, because you guys do not want to miss the URL, the stuff that we're doing today. Let's just copy this URL really quickly and share this in the chat. Oops, I don't think it's working. Copy this URL. Published information. Yes, we do come here live every single day. What are you talking about? I still don't know what you're talking about at all. So just confused a little bit. Why is this not copying? Let's just copy this and paste this right here. We are finally done. Check it out, you guys. Super duper cool animated effects. Super fun stuff. Let's just click on F11, and that's just going to take our... Thank you so much. Published information says, big fan. Thank you so much, published information. That's extremely nice. Thank you so much. All right, let's just go back, and this is the most amazing stuff ever. We've got a couple of people watching. When you click on this, it just gets in your face. Beautiful morph animation. You just click on it, it just morphs into this beautiful big image, scales up, which is actually one of the most amazing advanced UI techniques ever. This font is actually see-through, and it follows your cursor everywhere. It sort of gives the illusion that this unicorn is following your cursor everywhere, and you can use this with cans. You can use this with any central effect at all. And published information says, big fan. Thank you so much. I don't know how to reply to you anymore. All right, super duper cool effect. Alright, so with that, we are done with today's super duper cool. No Copy Jade says, I was looking for something to promote or support my channel. I really appreciate your guys' work. Anyways, I love your video. Thank you so much. Abhinanth also says, thank you, welcome. I don't know how to reply to all of these thank yous and welcomes anymore. Alright, you guys have been the best design community in the whole world I could ask for. Thank you so much for joining me live today. We just built one of the best effects of UI design ever. Thank you to each and every one of you, even the ones who I can't reply to. I'm sorry, it's just way too many comments at the same time. I will see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. where Indian Standard Time, where we review a ton of really cool UI designs, websites of the month, websites of the day, websites of the year. I don't even know right now. Just super duper cool stuff. And also, we're also going to talk about super duper cool stuff on the 8 p.m. stream, where we're going to make one more most amazing UI design ever. I will see you tomorrow. Until then, take care and goodbye.